Thank you, sir. Many students, they wanted to know that, no, because they are very curious to download their admit cards, but students wait at least 10 to 12 days before commencement of the examination. You can download the same. Now, sir, this question is for you. What happens if a candidate attempts questions in excess?
Student, if you attempt questions in excess of the prescribed number, only the questions attempted first up to the required number will be awarded, will be valued and awarded marks accordingly, and the remaining one will be ignored. Say if you are to attempt 5 questions out of 6, the first 5 that you attempt will be valued and will be awarded the marks, and the last one will be ignored. One more advice I would like to give you: try to answer the questions in an order and attempt all the parts at one place. This is advisable.
Thank you, sir. So students, they want to know, this is regarding training, they want to know that how many leaves they can take, no, during the 15 months training period.
Students, I would like to clarify, as per guideline, there are certain prescribed limits. One is casual leave, another is leave for study and examinations. Now, 1 casual leave per month is allowed, and 2 leaves per month for study and examination, computing in total. Means what? Suppose you are going for 15 months training. During 15 months training, 15 casual leave and 30 leave for study and examination. So in total you are having 45 days leave. Suppose you are going for 24 months training, then 24 casual leave plus 48 leaves for study and examination. This way you have to calculate. But there is a catch. The moment we are giving the leave for study and examination, and that is for CS examination only. Suppose you are, along with the CS, you are pursuing some other course also. Suppose examination of MCOM is there, examination of LLB is there, and you are taking leave to appear in that examination, that will not be allowed. So, leave for study and examination is designated for the CS course only. It means what? The student who have already passed the professional examination, they are not eligible for that. So, students who are doing training after passing professional examination, it means during 12 months, they will be eligible for 12 leave only. This way you can calculate.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Ma'am, this is for you. Majority of the students, they want to contact academics department. So they want to know whether is there any contact where they can clarify their doubts pertaining to the academics.
Yes, students, we would be pleased to answer your academic queries through our email ID. We have specified email ID pertaining to questioning academic queries, that is academics@icsi.edu. And you can also clarify your specific queries related to academics regarding the contents of the study material, regarding the doubts in the study material. If you are coming across some discrepancies in the study material, you can also bring those discrepancies to our knowledge through email. And you can also send your problems or case studies you are not able to grasp. You can always send all your doubts to us on this email ID, and you can personally interact with us also on the number which earlier also I have given. For the sake of repetition, I will once again give you. It is 011 4534 1074. This is specifically allocated to cater to the academic queries, and our all academic officers are available on this number from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock on all working days. And one request I will make to you is that you can send your academic queries on this mail ID. That will help you, that will help us to serve and guide you better. And write your academic queries very clearly and in a concise manner. And then we will request you to always mention your contact detail also in the email ID. Because there are most of the academic queries are like that, then when we personally interact, we are better able to guide you. So our officers will contact you and they will they will guide you for that. Apart from that, I'll take this forum to request you that if you are coming across any discrepancies, typological errors in the study material or guideline answers or suggested answers or in our e-bulletins, you can always send your feedback on us one specific email ID we have created for that, and we have circulated to you also. That is feedbackstudymat@icsi.edu. So we'll be waiting for your queries and would be very pleased to serve you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was indeed very beneficial for the students. No? They were looking for some sort of contact. Now, this is for examination. How a candidate marks his attendance on each day of examination.
Each day of the examination, you have to mark your attendance on the attendance register. The attendance register will be brought by the invigilator concerned to your seat, and you have to sign on the attendance register against your roll number, name, and your photo will be there. Your specimen signature will be there. So on each day you have to sign on the column pertaining to your roll number. As I have just told you, but before signing you have to take precautions because the attendance register carry a barcode sticker also. That sticker is to be removed from the attendance register and is to be affixed on the answer book. So once you have done that, then you sign on the attendance register. Again, I would like to remind you that barcode sticker is to be affixed horizontally on the answer copies while vertically on the OMR answer sheet. OMR answer sheet, just told to you, it is for executive new program 3 papers. So your attendance will be marked by signing on the attendance register.
Thank you, sir. Now, some students who have registered provisionally, they want to know that they won't be able to submit their 10+2 passing result or final pass proof till examination. Can they still appear in the examination?
Oh yes. Suppose you have passed the examination. It means you are fulfilling the eligibility criteria. If you are fulfilling the eligibility criteria, you can appear in the examination. You will be allowed to appear in the examination. You will get the roll number. But there is a rider. Your result will be withheld. You are allowed to appear in the examination. You will get roll number, appear it, but you have to submit your pass mark sheet of class 12 or graduation, as the case may be. If you are not able to submit, or if you are submitting and that is beyond the 6-month limit, you are supposed to pass within 6 months. Once we will get the mark sheet, we see you have passed it within the 6 months, then it is valid. We will declare your result. But suppose you are not able to pass it within 6 months, then your result will be cancelled. That is the rider. Otherwise, you can appear in the examination.
So, we are getting a lot of queries on training also.
Yeah.
So students, they are asking about the procedure of switching over from old training structure to the modified training structure.
Okay. You go to our website, homepage, institute's homepage, go to training section, right hand side, you will find a form is uploaded there. You have to take out the printout of that form, that is switch over form from old to new. But when to switch over? That is my question to you. When you are going to commence the training, at that stage, first you have to find out the trainer, either a company or PCS. Appear for interview. Let him select you. He will give you a confirmation letter. That is must along with the changeover form. So you have to download the form, fill it, attach that confirmation letter, and you have to send the scanned copy of both these forms by email to us. And after receiving that, your candidature will be changed from earlier training structure to modified training structure. What is the difference between the earlier training structure and modified training structure? In earlier training structure, you are having EDP, long-term internship, 15 days specialized training, PDP and MSOP. In modified training structure, you have only long-term internship and MSOP. So if you are changing over from old to new, all these training you are relieved. But there is a rider again. if you change, suppose you are already undergoing the training as per the earlier training structure. Some few months you have already completed. Now at this stage, if you change from old to new, your all training which you have already done, that will be waste. No credit will be given to that, given for that training which you have already done. So before changing, please think over.
Thank you, sir. Sir, most of the students, they are interested in knowing about the computer-based examination. So, sir, can you elaborate the same?
A student computer-based examination is for foundation program students. Instead of paper and pen, you will be made to sit on a computer terminal, and with the click of a mouse, the screen will be open up and questions will be appearing before you. Only thing you are to require is you are to be familiar with working of a computer mouse. No prior knowledge of computer is required as far as this computer-based examinations is concerned. However, IT professional will remain present to assist you if required. So, computer-based examination, in nutshell, you can say it is a replacement of paper pen examinations. The answers will be required to be given on the computer screen by simply clicking a mouse.
Thank you, sir. And this is for you. Students, they are asking about the guideline answers, how they can get the guideline answers.
Guideline answers are available at all our regional councils and chapter offices receptions. You can have a copy from there. Otherwise, the students who have subscribed to the knowledge portal or e-library, it is also available there.
Thank you, ma'am. So students, they are asking that they don't have green card, that is hard copy of their identity card. So still they can appear in the examination on the basis of downloaded copy of identity card.
Oh yes, because sending the green card, that is hard copy of identity card, that we have already discontinued. If some old students who are already continuing with study, they must be having it. But never get confused. You can download it from the online system. And the online system, from the online system, the identity card which you are downloading, that is good for all purpose, all reasons. You can appear in the examination. So hard copy is not required.
Thank you, sir. So this question, many students, they are asking that what are the dates for conduct of computer-based examination in June 2014 and maximum time allowed for each subject of examination. Sorry, December 2014.
The timetable is already displayed in the website. For your convenience, I may inform you that for this December 2014, the computer-based examination will be held on 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday 27th December 2014 and Sunday 28th December 2014. The students will be issued admit cards and the timing will be in batches. So there will be 4 batches we will be conducting each day on 27th and 28th, and you will be given a particular batch. Say for example, timings are 9:30 to 11, 12 to 1:30, 2:30 to 4, 5 to 6:30. So these are the 4 batches you will be allotted any time, say 9:30 or 12 or 2:30, depending upon the candidates, and you will not be allowed to change your batch timing. So on 27th December 2014, you will be assessed on paper 1 and paper 2. As I have told you, paper 1 business environment and entrepreneurship, paper 2 is business management, ethics and communications. There will be 100 questions and the duration will be 90 minutes. In case you have got an exemption in any paper, then the timing will be 45 minutes. Similarly, on the second day, that is 28th December, you will be assessed for paper 3 and 4. Paper 3 is business economics and paper 4 is fundamental of accounting and auditing. Again, timing will be 90 minutes. If you have got any exemption, then the timing will be 45 minutes. You are supposed to reach the venue 1 hour before the commencement of the examination. Say a student who has been allotted the batch from 9:30, they are to be required to be present in the premises at 8:30 a.m.
Thank you, sir.